I'm really excited for this episode of Future Proof. We are here talking to Stephen Amato, who is the founder, CEO of Contend, and many other companies. We'll see what we get to hear about today. And Mallard Tieder, who is our lead graphic designer for iWorks. Stephen, I first of all, I just feel a debt to you because I feel like so many things that I'm working on now, in some ways I can trace back to you. When I was at studio school, I had this pretty lame brain idea, like what if we had a class in branded content that we actually taught at an agency, and you and Phil Alberstadt said, yeah, why not? And you invited us in, and here you are inviting us in again. And when I look at what we're building now at Colorado Mountain College with the iWorks agency, it's kind of taking that idea and running with it. Having a learning environment, which is a work environment, so that we can kind of pull down that silo and have students step into their own sense of creative agency with creating content and building work and building a career. And when I think about this particular project, again, I kind of have to give you some more props because
thank you.
The question that I'm fundamentally wrestling with as a teacher in our school is, how is it that I prepare young creatives for the industry that they're stepping into? And I asked you kind of a core question back when we were working on that class. I said, what do you hire for? And you said, well, I don't know, but I can tell you what I don't hire for.
Yeah.
And I said, what's that? And you said, experience. I thought that was a fascinating answer. It kind of made me kind of rethink things. And I said, unpack that for me a little bit. And you were kind enough to take the time. And you said, well, basically, the industry that I'm in, and we had this conversation like 10 years ago, it's changing so much so quickly. And the way we address that challenge is so specific to our team of people that if anybody comes in and says, I should hire them because they have experience in all of that and how we do it, that instantly invalidates them for me. So this inquiry of going to Los Angeles, talking to leading creatives, and simply asking the question like, what is it that the creative industries need now? Like, what useful insights can you impart to me so I can support Mal in launching his creative career?
I mean, it's the same answer. It's like your experience is a liability. And if you don't wake up with a child's mind and see nothing and everything all at once, then you're not really being creative. You're just bringing your ego from the past to where you are, and nobody knows anything. Mm-hmm. And anyone that tells you that they do is honestly, they know technically what to do, how to put a light here or there. But in terms of how to create, that is not, that is something that creators create. And that is the only really way to do this. And I think the thing that drives creativity in my mind is curiosity. That's what I look for, by the way. I've realized over 10 years, what I was trying to say was, I really look for that kind of like explosion of curiosity. I don't care whether you're a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old. I don't care. It's not ageist. You got to be curious. And if you're not curious right now, if you're like, AI, I'm afraid, blah, 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 whatever, honestly, good luck. Because I really believe you're on the right side of history or you're not right now. And if you don't know where you are, that's troubling. So there's a lot of things happening. And one thing that you do have control of as a creative is creating. It's not that hard anymore. Right? There is a lot of ways you can create. It just takes courage. And that can be taught.
Okay.
Because you can empower people with positivity and say, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not you? Why not this? Why not that story?
Yeah, I mean, I think, part of what I've tried to do in finding some way to engage my role as a teacher with integrity is to first recognize that I don't have things to teach, which is kind of makes it more challenging to teach a class. But
it is so hard because people are paying money for institutions, right, to unlock creativity or unlock gift. And that's really hard right now. and it's really a lot of kids, especially going to the creative fields, are turning to universities and saying, what am I going to learn? A lot of people just are becoming creators.
Yeah.
Right? And that is an interesting, so, I don't have an answer for where it's going. I definitely think we have a responsibility of people that have created for a lifetime to at least give you as much information as we have before we tap out. Truthfully.
Well, like, to segue from that, I mean, in terms of what information or what curiosities or what discoveries, what can you share with us about what you've been up to?
You mean, what am I curious about?
Yeah, what are you curious about?
I'm really curious about, and it's partly because of this view, is adding a real virtual layer to the real world that's always on and present, where we're connecting a simultaneous virtual existence with a real life existence. So I'm really interested and curious about that. And I have been for about, 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. In terms of wearables and just entering a space and having two different things happening. Very, very curious about this. Yeah.
What does that look like for you in terms of how are you exploring that curiosity? And
started a company called Block Pop, where it's literally like a customizable Pokemon Go, where you can drop map-based technologies into cities and you can basically pick them up. We do campaigns with that. That's one way. We have I co-founded an amazing company called Apex Reality, which has the ability to kind of scan real world environments and bring it into virtual stages also, that we bring that to life with virtual lighting and, have the ability to go anywhere, anytime with any light. So yeah, the curiosity created companies, right? Instead of looking for a brand or a problem to solve, which we do a lot of, we just kind of saw the problem and then we solved it.
Right.
Right. And that is creatives. You guys, it is about problems and solutions. At the end of the day, which maybe it's a personal story, but it's just what are you trying to solve? So.
No, that's definitely true. Actually, we're kind of doing a project based on that in one of our classes, where we looked at our communities and we went, okay, what's the problem? What's the challenge we're looking at? And then we built our projects around that. So I'm making a project right now to help bring light and help debunk misinformation for trans and genderqueer people. So we're doing 3 different animated stories, and then we're going to edit them together into a short film.
I can't wait to see it. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That it needs to be made. So don't wait for someone to give you money.
You just got to go out and do it.
Go make it. Fill the gap. See the gap, fill the gap.
Exactly.
That's going to be honestly a big part of our creative future. And it's not going to be, let me go sell a TV show to Netflix. Because the economics are not going to be real.
I think someone solved that problem. There's enough streamable content.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, that problem, if you want to make a 6-hour miniseries or whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
But it should be, even that should be what are you solving with that piece of content? Why is Netflix going to buy it?
Creative problem solving. That's really what it's about now.
I think so. That's why people like true crime, and it's just it just feels real.
I mean, one question I have is just, my purpose here is to make myself irrelevant.
Yeah.
I'm the go-between. So, you guys talk. I mean, I know that there's a bunch of questions that you had in the research that you did on Steve. What's top of mind for you?
The big one I have that I've been thinking, with learning that you came from the theater world, what were some of the biggest differences you noticed when you made that transition?
From theater to ideas? Well, luckily I started with acting in the theater, which I really am so grateful that I studied with a great teacher in New York City called Sanford Meisner. And he taught me a lot about just how to listen and answer. And that basic thing, listening and answering, is still a huge part of how I communicate. But from acting, I got into writing for the theater. And from writing from the theater, I realized that, hey, and I was really addicted to original plays and original ideas, not kind of adapting or anything. I really wanted to, and then I realized, I got to get people to come see the theater. And then I got into shit, I can't just make a show. I have to promote the show. And then I got into thinking about, okay, well, what's the conceptual way to get people to come see a play? And then I realized, wow, these concepts are really powerful. And then I got into advertising. I came out here at LA. And that idea of driving traffic to an experience, where theater is the experience,
Right.
you know, but like I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to get people to go back to, you know, promoting an experience. That's really a lot of what I do right now.
Back to the roots of how really art started.
And theater is at the heart of everything I think about in terms of storytelling too. Like I still write plays, and I still, you know, I still believe I will be producing theater. So, which is interesting because I haven't done it in a long time. I just have always been thinking about it, and I go see the theater as much as I can. But what's interesting is we built these virtual stages, and that's where it's starting to get really interesting, because when you actually write a story for a virtual stage, it's a completely different writing process. But it's the closest is playwriting. You know, like it's because it's a confined stage. You can only there's only so much you can do.
Right.
So anyways, that's my roundabout answer to the theater isn't everything I do. Still.
Yeah, no, I ended up doing a few theater productions throughout like middle school and high school, and I've always loved it. I've always loved acting and being able to communicate the story without actually like just reading it out loud to people. Like you're acting it out. You are the characters, like immersing yourself into that world.
I think it's courage too.
For sure. Standing up in front of all those people and pretty much bearing your soul is so courageous.
Yeah. So I think courage and creativity go hand in hand.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think in some ways, I don't know, I was thinking about, like, if you write a play about this whole week and the conversations we've been having, and like what's the subtext? And I feel like a lot of it boils down to, you know, I want to do what you do.
Yeah.
How do you do what you do? I don't know how I do what I do. I just know that I know how to do it.
Be hyper present. That is really my only advice to everyone, but specifically creatives. Do not think about doing things right or wrong. Fail as much as possible. Like just be present to the point of like you don't care. Like present to the point of being indifferent.
Okay.
You know, like where it's just like it's just creating, and there's no getting it right. And then if you can practice that, it's pretty interesting. It's very powerful.
Yeah, I like to think that there's no right or wrong answer, especially when it comes to creative work. Like it's all a representation of the artist
But
themselves.
our heads are nuts.
Yeah.
You know, like we have, you know, and I have 5 kids, so I get to watch all these, not just my experience, my wife's experience, but like all of our kids' experience with their own, what the, you know, psychologists call ants. These like little ants in our head, they call, you know, and I think everyone's got these horrible ants that limit our potential. You know, on a project, on our lifetime, if you let them. And no more ants. Life's too short.
No, I definitely agree on that. You got to learn how to navigate it, because everyone has different ways that their ants operate or what decibel they're at. So you just got to figure out what's the way that works for you to quiet them down pretty much.
Yeah. I find being present, if you can figure that out, it really does, because it's just like I can hear them with the birds. They're the same. It's not beautiful.
Right.
You know? Yeah, that helps a lot. And I'm 53, and I've seen a lot of death, so that really does help too, because you're like, you know.
Life's short. You got to live every moment.
Certainly, if you want to be a creative, you can. If you want to, you know, you can lean in a little bit and be. If you're an actuary, I think you can probably plug into a much more of a different experience. But I think if you want to live a creative experience and get paid to do it, you got to bring yourself to the present.
You know, one thing which I hear a lot about is like mistakes. Like that seems to be like a key kind of theme that I'm noticing. I mean, help us curate a little bit. Like, what are really great mistakes to make, and what are some that maybe are less useful?
I mean, any great mistake is in pursuit of a creative project. If you're trying and you're not hurting someone, which I think is, you know, if you're trying your best to try and go after a creative pursuit or answer a question, solve a problem, and you literally are trying your best, there is no failure. You're not going to get, and here's the other thing I learned: just because you're right doesn't make it easy, and also just because you're right doesn't mean you're going to get what you want. That was a really hard concept for me. It took me a decade to get that one. Just because you're right doesn't make it easy. Because you're like, I'm right. I know this is right. Well, guess what? No one gives a shit.
Yep.
No one cares that you're right, And sometimes you're right way ahead of time, too, which is, Anyway, that was a really valuable lesson. If you guys can learn that'd be great.
Another question I got for you. Just in the last few years, I've been experiencing it, especially with like so many different projects coming at me with being in school, with like creative burnout. So do you have anything that you do to help nourish your creativity?
I'm very lucky. I've created a life around my creativity, and I've learned that because I'm a father and I made some really clear changes in my life that were about understanding exactly what I need baseline to nourish my soul, both with health and wellness, but also with creativity. And those, you have to create a world around that because that's sacred. Everything else is a lie. Those things are really, I know it sounds, but like otherwise you're not really showing up for other people. If you're not taking care of that, you're a shell.
Yeah, especially for us creatives, it's such a big part of us. Like, it kind of defines who we are, especially us creatives that are like so in depth in it.
Yeah, agreed.
Another one I got for you is when creating content for a client, what is the most important part in the process for you?
Easy. Understanding what problem they're trying to solve. We have a saying at Contend, which is, a problem well stated is a problem half solved. We spend a lot of time unpacking the problem before we start getting creative, because in the process of defining the problem, creativity starts. You almost have to be like, no, not yet. Let's get it defined right. Let's get everyone agreeing what the problem is. You agree, you agree, you agree. Oh, we all clients, you agree, this is what the problem is? Great. Now we get to have creativity. Because everyone's agreeing what the problem is. A lot of people they get started on creativity way too early. Specifically related to client work. I think you can apply the same thing to art. Right? In terms of, but to answer your question about clients, I think that's our starting process.
All right. Yeah, for sure. Understanding what the problem is and then what you could do to solve that.
Specifically how this campaign or this piece of content or this content ecosystem or whatever we're creating, specifically, exactly, and measurably how it solves that. That makes me really happy when we can do that. Because that's really why I left advertising. Because I really wanted to be like, hey, are we driving measurable outcomes using content? That's cool. To me. That's cool to me.
No, for sure.
That's an interesting question. I mean, in terms of how you think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
If it's not advertising, I mean, there's so many things that you do, but I'm just kind of curious, like, what's the box that you put that in, or how do you frame what it is that you're doing now?
Well, I think content is defined, for my definition of content, is satisfying something, like a state of satisfaction. Like we've satisfied a need or filled a gap, like that, as opposed to like advertising, which is like, I'm actually over here watching this and I'm coming at you, but I just really want to be watching this, and I'm putting it in front of the experiences you actually want to be having. Being the experience you want to have is my definition of content. You make people's lives better and you drive a transactional thing or whatever it is. And it's out in the open, It's
interesting. It's almost like content and content.
Absolutely. That's right. Content is content. It should. And if it's not that, then it's just advertising.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to say just advertising, but
no, I get it.
It is a push out and say, hey, we're going to force culture.
Right.
as opposed to,
Have enough empathy and
bring
clarity.
people in. Yeah, well, just bring people in, and like it doesn't have to be a big push down culture moment. It could be micro participation and micro communities around content that they like, whatever it is.
Or builds people up.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I love marketing like that, where it's like, it's building people up. It goes, okay, you guys are doing great. Here is an awesome feeling.
Yep.
Like being able to, one of the things that I've always done with my work, I've always wanted people to walk away with like a feeling when they look at my work.
Absolutely.
No matter what it is, no matter if it's something completely different than what I felt when I was looking at it, I want them to walk away with something.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I want to do with advertising, is making sure, okay, this is the demographic you want to go into. What's the end feeling that you want them to walk away with? Because that's the main thing, is what do you want them to associate your brand with?
Yeah.
The feeling.
In a brief, that's called a takeaway. Like, what do you want people to take away from the experience you just gave them, or the content, or the message? Like, what do you want them to remember? Right, and that's in all of our advertising briefs. It's like, growing up, it was like, what do you want them to remember as a result of seeing this creative? It's a really important thing to remember.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't have an answer for that, ideas should get killed.
If you don't have like the idea of what you want the takeaway to be, what's the point of even putting it out there?
Yeah, awards, ego.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, because it's cool. Because they're like, the client gets excited about Snoop Dogg, or some, insert cool, celebrity here. I think Snoop Dogg is cool, but he's, anyways, that would be the answer to that, in my opinion.
So is that the kind of problem solution? It's sort of like a responsive framework, but part of what I see you doing, or this may express just the limitation I have in how I'm understanding it, is you're kind of being proactive. You're creating additional new spaces where content could help make an audience content, like where.
Yeah.
So what leads that? Is it something where you're responding to like an itch that you have, that you simply trust, like, I'm a human, other humans have this? How does that happen?
It's gotten weird, because part of, I would say 50% of my life is just driven by curiosity and trying to figure out something that needs to be made. My daughter was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia. And my friend was a neuropsychologist who took the test, and they gave us a really, really robust kind of understanding of our beautiful daughter's kind of how she learns and her gaps. But and we learned that, like, that's cool. It's a PDF. It's like 40 pages. It's hyper comprehensive.
Right.
So I started a company where you can ingest that and have an always-on tool from that test to like understand how to, that's an example. It's called
That's
UBU.
amazing.
We're about to go to market with it, and that's an example of, like, it's not advertising. It's not even. It's like, that was a real gap,
Right.
and it's so easy to solve. So
That's
just
gonna
do
be
it.
really helpful too.
For everyone.
Yeah,
so we're starting with, just because that's kind of where it started, but like it's literally UBU. That's the name of the company. Why UBU?
That's so resonant, because I feel like I'm really quite lucky. I'm at an institution that really supports me to do what I do the way that I feel it should be done. But I always feel like in kind of the dichotomy we've expressed here, like advertising versus content, I feel like school is advertising. And what they're selling you is the idea is that if you are this shaped cog, you will be able to fit into the gears of society and have a living. And it kills me, because it's a fucking lie. Obedience,
Amen
like
for you.
following directions,
You
is
guys
not
are
a
lucky.
job.
You're lucky to have someone that says that out loud. That takes a lot of courage, man. It's true. He's true. I didn't go to college. Can I swear?
Oh yeah.
It's a fucking lie. Like, I didn't go to college. Honestly, I don't even know half of what I'm doing. You just have to do it. There's no way anyone could teach me. I hate people telling me what to do. So I had to do this by doing, and especially advertising.
Yeah.
I have no right getting hired at Chiat. I was a playwright with no experience in advertising. I didn't take one course for advertising. It's because I had conceptual plays, and they're like, that's cool. And really, it's just because I showed up, and I had balls, and that's a big part of it. So don't drink any Kool-Aid around advertising. Advertising is, it is just showing up and being creative. Don't let anybody tell you it's not that.
It's the thing which just drives me nuts because I feel like I'm constantly wrestling with students that are asking me like, well, what's the right way to do this? And I say, exactly. And they say, no, like, Mark, you have to teach us. Like, that's what they're paying you to do.
What you're doing with this agency, that is the best example of just doing it. So then you go find real briefs and go, because your guys are way better positioned for the future than people sitting on Madison Avenue. Those people are done. They don't understand anything. It is like they're getting a lot of young kids in there, which is awesome. And you're starting to see it kind of like up. But most of the people that are making decisions creatively they have no idea what how to talk on different platforms and multimodal. And it's not their fault. They crushed it. But it's a young person's game. It really is. Advertising is a young person's game.
What are the things that you look to next generation creatives like? Is there a superpower or is there something to lean into? I think I have a sense of the kind of answers you'll come from on this, but I also feel like it'll mean more coming from you.
Well, I think just people coming with solutions. Like, no, I don't have time for problems. Like I live with problems. So come with an expertise, come with a point of view, come with a solution, have the courage to create, put something together, like go out there and put your junk on the table and say, this is what I think. And that's what that's how I believe. Like you gotta, I'm certainly not looking at somebody because of their resume. I've stopped that a long time ago. Don't care what anybody's from. It means nothing. So it really is about like, what is the vibe? Is there electricity in your eyes? Are you interested in kind of where things are going? And are you curious? That's it. How curious are you? Because curiosity gets you through dark nights, and gets you figuring out ideas, and it keeps you up and figures out new ways to communicate because you're curious. And like, we sell things, we have no idea how we're going to build them. And the clients hire us knowing that. Right? They're actually, because we have the courage to be like, we don't know how it's going to work. They just know that we're going to figure it out. That helps that we're older. It's a little harder when you're younger, but you come work for companies that are doing crazy things and help them figure it out. Right? And be like, I want to help you figure that out. I know you guys are building crazy things. I want to help you figure it out. Yeah, that's my answer.
Fun. I love it. What's your next question?
What advice would you have for a creative trying to get specifically into like the branding and marketing world?
I just make fake brands.
Yeah.
A lot of just almost make that your passion. If you really want to get into that, so people are like, oh, that's really cool, that's really conceptual, that's really interesting. Don't worry about, on your downtime, if you're doing something else and you really want, like, people just make that if you really want to get into that, you got to be really, really good at it.
Gotcha.
And you got to be really passionate about it. Those brand assignments are really hard to come by. And the people that are doing the brand assignments on the client side sometimes don't know what good work is. So even when you get one, it's really hard. So I know that sounds negative, but just make your own brands and it'll happen. Somebody will be like, I want this or I want that. Start local.
Gotcha.
Start local. Like everyone needs a brand. If you like brands, go make brands. Give them away. Here's a brand. Hey, I saw your place. Look, just get into it. And it'll be infectious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are some other like pieces of conventional wisdom that need to die?
Anything conventional. Anyone that's saying that here's some wisdom. Besides, like, here's how, a toilet works and the lights go on and off. It's all up for grabs. No one knows anything. Convention is dead. Be curious, be creative, be courageous. I mean, elephant in the room, creators are getting briefs from clients directly. They're just, here's the brief. There's no agency, it's like really, because the creator is someone like, you guys, but with 1.2 million people of media behind them. That's a problem for creatives.
Yeah.
Because they're selling ideas and execution and distribution all in one place.
Yeah.
We're about to get bombarded by children.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think that's a great segue.
Yeah.
Like, meet the next generation.
This is them.
I think we're good.
Good.
Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Yeah,
great to
great seeing you.
reconnect.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Nice
You
to meet
too.
everyone.